Oborigani, Ekaro, and of course, good morning. I'm Jacob Renee, and welcome to the sixth episode of Thoughts and Concepts. So let's get into it. Today's title is called Franchise Player, and that's going to lead us to our Jeopardy moment. Where is this term from? I'm the franchise player. Do 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 do. All right. Put your answers in the bottom in the chat of where that term or phrase was heard from or said. And we'll enter you into the monthly raffle for some free T&C merch. Now, I'm a franchise player. What are we talking about? Practice. Practice. Are you concerned about practice? I'm a franchise player. That was said by Allen Iverson of the Philadelphia 76ers. I think he was just recently put into the Hall of Fame. Not in the Hall of Fame. I think his jersey was retired. His jersey was just eventually retired not too long ago. And to all my Philly viewers out there, y'all know, and some of our Central Jersey people, we loved Allen Iverson. He was something like we never seen before. His attitude, his confidence, his ability to say what he was thinking unfiltered. Now, some will argue that's why he was unable to get his ring. But that's another story for another day. So if you got it, kudos to you. All right, and that's going to bring us to today's concept, the life pie, which is basically the categorization of the important areas of your life. Once you can identify them, you can seek to balance these areas. And for most people, this is going to be 6 areas, right? 6 areas of categorization unless you have children. So one is spiritual, which constitutes your relationship with God. The next is mental, your relationship with yourself. Physical, your body condition, your health. Educational, your ability to learn and grow. Financial, your relationship with money. Relational, your relationship with others. And if you have children, you have a child's category, which is category number 7. And what we're trying to do basically is we're trying to identify where there's imbalance, right? So if you did your homework last week, you have your values. And now we're going to figure out what area of our life pie does these values go in and how we can effectively lead this way, right? Reset our life, refocus our intentions to actually be able to get things done. We're not seeking perfection. We're just trying to identify these imbalances so we can make the necessary corrections to be living our life in a truly fulfilled manner. So how about you put down in the chat when you just off the top, what comes to your mind when you think about, what area of my life requires more balance? And understand and keep in mind that neglect in one area eventually can collect interest. And before you know it, it's compound interest. Things have gotten far away from what you intended for them to be. All right, so how do we look at our life pie? How do we truly figure out what we're going to characterize, right? So you're going to take your list of your values. Remember last week, mine are the blue visas. You don't have to come up with an acronym for your values. That's just something that I did in order for me to, really take a look at what it is that I want. And it kind of naturally just turned into that acronym in the way I think. So we'll take my first blue visa, right? My first blue visa values was education, bloodline, training, and selfie. So edification is my time with God. That's going to go into my spiritual category. Bloodline, that's going to go into my relational category. Training, that's going to go into my physical category. And selfie, that's going to go into my mental category. And then we'll just figure out, we'll develop a plan to see what those things really look like and how we can truly take actionable steps to make sure that those things are at the forefront of what we're actually doing and how we're spending our time. But for now, let's just kind of start categorizing things, right? I know I've been giving you a lot. This is a lot. And we're only on week 6, right? Episode 6. So it's okay if you're not at this point right now when you're viewing this. If this is your first time listening, go back. Go back to the first one and it'll walk you along all the steps that we're doing. I want you to give yourself some grace because these things were not figured out in a day, especially not for me. I had to take some time to really sit and, let myself feel a sense of calmness and not a sense of urgency to where I could really have a chance to make real decisions, not from a place of desperation and a feeling rushed. Because you don't really make too many good decisions in that area. At least I don't. All right. So this is what we're doing. This is our homework for the week. Let's get those values into these categories and start, really thinking about what that looks like for us, what we want for ourselves. And in doing so, it may cause you to have to make some deletions and some serious adjustments. But it's okay. You ain't got to do it by yourself. We're going to do that. We're going to do that together. Next week, we're going to start looking about what it looks like to have true joy in all of these areas. All right. So this week, that brings us to our hoodie moment. The hoodie says, born worthy, period. It's not up for discussion. It really isn't. It's not up for discussion. I'm born worthy. And this hoodie was created by a woman by the name of Ayana Abdul Rahim. And she has a school by the name of Timbuktu Academy. And the Born Worthy Project is also a brand. It focuses on empowering Black girls and young women from ages of 9 to 22. And what she does is she gives a holistic education. She has an art program. She teaches them confidence, self-worth, ownership of their own identity, and all the things to be a well-rounded person, to be productive in society. Because sometimes, women can be a part of the group of marginalization where we're not really taught to speak up for ourselves. A lot of women can shrink when they walk in certain rooms or don't even feel like they belong there. And what Ayana is doing with this Born Worthy project is so beneficial to young Black and brown girls and women who truly need direction during those really important and impactful years of their lives. So I'm going to put their information in the description bar, and I want you guys to check them out because it truly is something to look for. All right. And I'll talk to you guys next week. And remember, you can only control yourself, not the outcome. So focus on you. Love to love you. See you next week.